Welcome back to Mama's Talk Relationships. I am Lisa Miller.
And I am Alessandra Martinet.
Are you ready to dive into another episode about love, loss, and everything in between and after divorce?
I am so ready.
What are we going to talk about today?
Today, we are going to talk about co parenting with a narcissist.
Good
But
one.
before we do all that, let's share with our listeners what we're working on.
You guys, we have something so exciting in the works. Alessandra and I have partnered up to put together the course of all courses that we wish we would have had when we were going through a divorce. So you'll have support from both of us. There's going to be what we're calling divorce flicks. So there's like little areas where you're going to be able to go on if you're going through something and just quickly get like some advice.
A little pick me up.
Yeah, there's going to be a community aspect to it. If you want to be the first to know, you can DM myself or Alessandra. You can find me on Instagram at lisamiller.coach, or you can find Alessandra at Mama's Guide to Divorce. Let us know you want to be on the wait list for this amazing new course. What are we calling it?
We've been going back and forth with names, so we haven't finalized it.
Right. So just tell us that you want to be on the wait list for the new course that we're putting on. We'll put you on. You'll get the best pricing. You'll get the first bonuses and all the good stuff. So let us know.
Yay! So let's dive in. I personally don't have experience co-parenting with a narcissist. I have a very unique, well, not unique, but I have a very good relationship with my ex-husband who is not a narcissist. And I've had friends that have dealt with this, like really, really bad. And I think there's two main takeaways that I've seen. And one of them, and we say this in almost every situation, is always put your kids first in the whole equation. But the other thing is you have to have boundaries with this person. You
Absolutely.
cannot let them take over or control you or push your limits. You have to be firm with them.
Yeah, I
Right?
agree. And I'm in a similar situation. My ex and I have an amazing co-parenting relationship. We kind of kill the co-parenting game. He is not a narcissist. I coach so many people that are in narcissistic co-parenting relationships. So I deal with this day in and day out. I have friends that have narcissistic ex. I have dated people that have had narcissistic ex. I am very well aware of the narcissist. So a few things that I think, yes, boundaries first and foremost, always self boundaries more than anything. So when I say that, I think what's really important about boundaries is if they are a true narcissist, they're not going to care about your boundaries. So you have to have your own boundaries, your own limits, your own set of rules per se of what you're going to be willing to accept and not accept. I also say very it's really common in a narcissistic co-parenting relationship that co-parenting can't exist. It almost has to be parallel parenting, and you have to become an acceptance with that.
Well, you make it, at least in the beginning, when emotions are still really strong, you make it like a business deal, right? Very fact-based. You're getting the kids on this day. This is the time you can call them. And if you have to resort to it, you communicate on Family Wizard, that type of thing.
Absolutely. And you have to do whatever, just remember, what price are you going to pay for peace, right? So like your peace and your peace of mind and your inner peace should be your number one priority for you and your kids. So having ways to deal with their manipulation, because if they're a narcissist, they're going to manipulate you. They're going to gaslight you. They're going to lie to you. So getting everything in writing is like so important.
Everything. You cannot trust them. You've got to document everything. So if you use Family Wizard or text or whatever it is, get it all in writing so there's no confusion.
I think also really important to note that you should have effective communication techniques. Use I feel statements instead of like always putting the blame on them. They will just get defensive. You'll get nowhere. You'll go in circles. I think that's always, really an important thing to do when communicating with
Mhm.
someone like that. I think it's also really important that you learn your own ways to deal with your own emotions because trust me, like it's going to be a roller coaster and there's going to be some really, really hard conversations and hard emotions that come up. If you know how to regulate your nervous system, if you know how
Mhm.
to find peace within yourself so that you can breathe through it, so that you can pause and not react, you will be winning.
Oh, that's amazing. It's so true. And you can't expect them to change
No.
just because you're divorced. It might even get worse.
It usually gets worse, at least in the
Mhm.
beginning. I mean, emotions are high.
And another thing that I think is key is have a structured parenting plan.
Oh,
Always
yeah.
defer to the parenting plan. It's a
Yeah,
court order.
it is. And,
And
and here's the
follow it.
thing.
My friend has used that so many times. Like, she deals with an absolute nut job. And
Mm,
she's always says, we have to follow the parenting plan. Everything is
hmm
done on Family Wizard, so there's no confusion. And he still makes it confusing. And he
And they
still
still try
manipulates.
to, I was just going to
Yep.
say, they still manipulate and they'll still try to get away with things and they'll put your kids in the middle. You have to take the high road. You have to look at your little kids, these little innocent little people, and be like, what is best for my children? If you come
Yeah.
from that place, your kids will recognize that. They might not if they're super young, but eventually they will. I promise you.
They will. They absolutely will. 100%.
And I mean, there's so many more things I could say on this topic. I think one of the number one things, if you are in a narcissistic co-parenting situation, heal yourself to get stronger, to build your confidence so that you can deal with it and not continually take on they're going to project a lot of anger, resentment onto
Mhm.
you. And it's really important that you are stable and regulated and can and not take on their emotions.
No, you can't. And you're used to doing it because you were married to them, and you've gotta learn that that life is over now. You gotta put
Yeah,
it to the side.
absolutely. So I mean, prioritizing self-care, getting the support that you need, whether it be from a coach or a therapist, um, because there's going to be a lot thrown at you that you've never experienced before. I always say we don't know what we don't know until it happens. And then you're
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, I don't know what to do in this situation. So reaching out to people who have been in that situation before. There's actually support groups about this, believe it or not.
Mhm.
So, get yourself in those rooms. It will help you so, so much.
All right, mamas, we're nearing the end of another episode of Mamas Talk Relationships. As always, we want to thank you for joining us on this journey. We'll be back next week with another insightful, informative, and hopefully entertaining episode on navigating dating and relationships after divorce.